Yeah, talking about extraordinary, it wasn't long after coming into this company that I realized that Mr. Mufar is extraordinary. The way he talks, the audacity of some of his words. I remember even Bob Takusi bringing it up. The audacity to say, not to one, not to five, but thousands of people, go back in that closet and get your dreams because we're about to help you make them come true. That's pretty powerful. We're going to shake up the internet. Another one, very powerful. Uh, and sometimes when I was listening to him, I said, man, he didn't have to say that, right? He doesn't. And then also, I think one of the most powerful things was I didn't like the phrase, but do or die. He never ever gave himself a way out. He didn't have to say it, but when you say it in front of everyone, he did not go, he did not build a fire extinguisher or a fire escape. I'm in this. We're going to make it happen. Now, obviously, what we do and what we don't know, we know enough to realize that somebody threw bombs and uh, Molotov cocktails into the party and wanting to derail, stop, and beat this ideology. But I was looking back, don't know a lot of details about them, but there was many, many, many very, very rich people. But what people really remember is the extraordinary people, the ones that made an impact. And like Minu said, it's the ones that changed paths for the many, not necessarily for themselves. Mahatma Gandhi, Albert Einstein, the stuff that he realized and how to put it together mathematically, and it affected our lives to this day. Um, Nelson Mandela, 27 years, believing in something that people should be treated fairly and equal, and all he had to do is change a few words, and he'd have never been put in prison. Crazy. Uh, Leonardo da Vinci, what he's done. I don't know that he probably knew the impact he would have hundreds and hundreds of years later. Steve Jobs, they didn't know who he was until the company started to fall apart and they called him back. And if you don't know who Apple is today, you'd have to be living in a cave. Mother Teresa, which is the one that Ash always uses her, because he said, look at the impact she had as one person. How about if we create thousands of Mother Teresas? The audacity to say that, which is exactly what it is off the chart. I don't know anybody that would make that statement, but I believe he believes it. I believe we're starting to get thousands of people that believe it. And if you believe it, you can achieve it. Nikolai Tesla, he did stuff years ago. He was from Serbia, I believe, but he did stuff years ago that we hear about today and we think it's new. He did stuff with electricity that if you really looked and found out what he did, you'd be blown away. You would think it happened in the last 10 years. Uh, the philosopher Confucius, you ever hear some of the things he said? He was very wise guy, a wise man. Shakespeare. Shakespeare did wrote up some things. He had plays. He did Romeo and Juliet. Yes, probably at the time he thought this is something. This could make a little bit of an impact. But did he really know? I probably not. Um, Galileo, Rosa Parks, being defiant. I'm staying where I am. I am in the bus. Did she know what would happen? No, I think she was probably scared to death because she was barely thought of a little more than maybe a dog and what they might do to her. But look what she did. And it had an impact. She's talked about probably for the rest of time. Uh, the Wright brothers, I believe they're in a bicycle shop. They did bikes. One day they said, we should be able to fly. Of course, I'm sure many people told them they're idiots. What are you talking about? And if you look now, flying connected the world from a couple of young snotty-nosed kids years and years and years ago. Anyway, you can go on and on and on. We don't have the proof yet, but I put Ashmupara in that category. That's why when I feel that I'm a small part of that, it's overwhelming because I know people go up and down, they worry and all, I get it, anxiety, we all have it. But when we get through the storm and all the bad days, I believe we're going to see something extraordinary. And I believe we're going to be part of something extraordinary and be able to work with an extraordinary family called the Mufaras. They're extraordinary from the little boys all the way up, his wife and him. I talk to him a lot. And no matter how bad it is, and we'll find out. And I think most people will, it'll make them sick. People will cry. I guarantee it. But to come through that, and what did we have to do? Wait? What's wait mean? I'm waiting anyway. I mean, I would have been here doing something with no hope for the last 6 years instead of there's potential here of life changing, and I could be part of it. So the gift is going to be amazing, and he knows. Even with all the stuff, I don't know how he could utter these words, but he did. He said, "Well, it was hard, it hurt, but it makes us better." And now, seeing what he sees now, he knows what extraordinary looks like. He's with people that when words come out of his mouth from the way he thinks, something new, something new. He said something to me a couple of days ago. He said, it's the first time in a long time that I get to create. And I went, holy cow. Because he had to be the so-called manager, and he hates it. That's not who he is. But he finally surrounded himself with people where he can move back, besides all the wars going on, move to the side and start creating and being the visionary that he's meant to be. So that alone is it. The hair on my neck stood up after he said it because you could see it in his eyes how confident and happy he is to get through the phase of I need this, and look at him and go and want to say, am I going to have to explain this to you 790 times? It's I need this, and the comments are we can do that and this. And that never happened before. So and the IT guys can understand that because it can be rough on his end. And I remember a lot of people, especially the tech guys, well, Papa said I do this and I do this and I wouldn't do that. He shouldn't have, and they had a lot of input. And I did beat it back. But looking back, some of the stuff that they were nervous about was a problem. It was. Who's checking the hen house? Who's really protecting the chickens and who's eating them? And we find out later that it wasn't a pretty sight. But really, we're in an extraordinary company. And Ash said to me, I brought up Chat GPT. In fact, I got another one out now. It's supposed to be even better. But he said, it's a great app, but it's ordinary. I'll spend whatever money it takes, but I'll never build something ordinary. It has to be extraordinary.